Already traders, welcome. It is Thursday, January 25th, 2024. We're going to get into our trades for the day, our portfolio, and take a quick look at the market to see what kind of ideas we have out there for tomorrow. Uh, Good day in the markets, up slightly. Our accounts were up today as well, which is fantastic. I did not do a single thing in the trading market today. In fact, I'm not sure I spent 5 minutes looking at my portfolio on the day. Just let it go. And that's the great thing about trading the way that we trade. I'm not trading, if I don't want to trade zero DTE or day trade or something, I don't have to. I do it when I have some time or some availability and the setup is right. Otherwise, it's not a necessity for me. The big thing is setting up with the right strategies for me. And my strategies are longer term. And the reason we trade longer term than other strategies is I've typically found that the farther out DTE you go, the bigger the difference between realized move, okay, or expected move and realized move. Okay, the farther out you go. And I know, the kind of the tasty trade way was always that 45 DTE, and hey, that's where the curve is going to start to accelerate the most. And you know what? I haven't really found that to be the case. I've found that I can get really good decay at 90 days. I found I can get really good decay at 120 days. I've also found I can get pretty good decay on leaps as well. All depends on your trading time frame and what you're looking to do. But the further out you go, the wider the gap between expected move and realized move becomes. So expected move is much larger at 60 days than the realized. It's even a wider gap at 90, and it's even a wider gap at 120 days. So the further out you go, the more likely you are that the realized move will be significantly smaller than the expected move, which means you're getting paid, understandably, when you go out further in time. And for me, it does a couple things. Number one, it gives me more premium using less buying power, further away options, a little bit more safety for that. And I like the fact that I'm trading 60, 90, and 120 DTEs for the most part on almost everything that I have. So when I'm putting on a new trade, it's either 60, 90, or 120. There are some lead trades that we do as well at 365, but really those core three, 60, 90, 120, and that's where I don't have to really monitor my account. I don't want to go in my account today. I didn't go in my account today. I don't really have a lot I want to do or need to do. I don't need to spend every second of the market in the accounts. Just let theta work. As a premium seller, that's the goal. Why sell zero DTE and 10 DTE and 20 and 40 and 45 DTE? Why do I have to watch stuff every day or every week when I can maybe just peek briefly at it, maybe once a day, maybe every couple of days, and understand that we're doing pretty well because we trade further out, which provided us with all of those benefits that I just mentioned. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the portfolio today. We're going to get into some mindset stuff today. I'm going to talk a little bit about growth and fixed mindset and how your mindset affects trading. I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end. So stick around for that. I think you'll really like to hear some of the mindset stuff we've got working. But let's take a look at the markets on the day today. I'm going to take my face off of here so that you can see everything that's going on. And let's see if we can screen share. All right, here we go. All right, let's look in now and take a look. So the market was up a little over 25 bucks today. Here's what it looks like on SPY on the session. Again, MACD rolling higher. RSI rolling higher into overbought territory. Squeeze firing to the upside on the daily. Same thing on the weekly here. We reviewed this morning. No real change. We did bounce back from yesterday's little bit of selling back to the 3 ATR, and that's where we stopped. Maybe we'll continue further. Maybe we're reaching just a point of exhaustion in the markets. Where are the buyers and why? Why aren't they pushing it any farther than this? Let's take a look at the Qs today. Now, the Qs barely up at all on the session. They were up decent early and then came back, gave up half of their gains for the day you look at RSI, we're heading into overbought on both the daily and the weekly. We've been overbought now for 5 straight sessions. I just think we're getting long in the tooth here. I'm expecting some sort of a pullback. Doesn't have to be great, but some sort of pullback in the next couple of days. Taking a quick look at IWM as well. We managed to do almost nothing on the session today. Now it was up 80, 0.8%. MACD's turning and running higher along with RSI. Squeeze is reversing its momentum. Yeah, I think there's some upward possibilities here. And we did move up on the day, but we did finish off of our highs on the session, and we still look fairly weak, I think, here on the weekly chart. We're just going to keep struggling around with this resistance area about 198 to 200. I think we fuss around in there. If we can get a clean break and move higher, I think that could be good. All right, let's take a look here. The number of stocks above their 50-day moving average managed to move up a bit today, so we're back to 0.77. Nothing urgent there. Put call ratio ticked up slightly today, moving the 10-day moving average back up a little bit more here. VIX dropping, or sorry, rising on the day. So we did have VIX move up to a whole 1345. It's just oscillating sideways. There's just no volatility. VIX is dead indicator for the most part right now. There's just nothing to discuss when it comes to VIX. US dollar again had another pretty decent day. Yesterday was a big down day, and then it rebounded today. It's holding this trend line to the upside. So the dollar has continued to be decently strong, even though MACD is rolling over. Squeeze is getting long. RSI still shows some decent momentum on the daily, and same thing on the weekly. Weekly still looks decent here. We do have a PSAR bullish reversal signal, so we could see continuing strength on the dollar, or at least more sideways consolidation, which is letting these moving averages really converge here on the day. Rates dropped fractionally on the day as they just maintain this sideways movement. MACD, RSI may be rolling over a bit with the squeeze getting long in the tooth, but nothing earth-shattering here to take a look at. I just think we continue to move sideways, which is going to be really good for bonds to play some strangle and other type trades. If we get into the Forex today, uh, you have the Aussie dollar just fractionally up, looking decent for a bit of a rebound. It's going to struggle with this downtrend line. If we can get either sideways or break above it, either one, as the moving averages are converging here, we could get a nice move to the upside on 6A. I actually tried to put some trades on today. Didn't get filled. I only spent 5 minutes in the market, so I didn't try real hard. I threw it on. It didn't fill. Wasn't worried about it. All right, on the British pound, up just fractionally on the day. Canadian dollar up fractionally on the day. 6E down on the overall session. It was up earlier, but is giving back a bit here as the sessions continue. Still in this downtrend mode, and I think until we can really break through this, uh, and it's 6 o'clock, so the evening session has just begun. You can see we're up just fractionally in the evening session here, but just sideways, just holding this 200-day and still sticking to this downtrend or the uptrend line that we've had that we broke, and now we're just sideways consolidation. We can probably just yank that off the screen now, and we'll just keep watching this thing move. Oil on the session dropped just fractionally on the day. Now we're into the after hours sessions. Here it's back open, but overall on the day, pretty decent up move, and then fractionally just sideways so far. So good up day on oil. We talked about the breakout happening. I really like it here. You're in a squeeze, everything pointing to an upside move on oil, and that's how we've played it. So we're doing really, really well on oil. Love the oil setups that we have. I can't get enough of oil in the oil trades. In fact, right now I've got a bear trap trade on oil, another bear trap trade, a ratio spread trade, another ratio spread trade a little further out, and a strangle right now, of which every single one of these trades is up nicely. So we're up a good $6,000 or so on oil trades recently, and it's our second largest holding. We'll just keep letting oil, move its way higher here. I'm not expecting anything major unless there's some significant news, but you're starting to see some consolidation of these bands. Uh, Something to keep an eye on. All right, gold on the session bounced a fraction today, still in this downtrend mode, but maybe starting to move its way higher, and a pretty good gap up right now in gold in the after hours session. So we're moving up, decently right now. I don't know if this is accurate. Let's take a quick look. 2058. So nice little move here. Let's see if gold can continue to make its way out or above the downtrend line. So I like gold here. We do have some trades on gold. In fact, I've got uh, a 2112 trade on in gold, which is a really unique trade that we're working on. That trade is now up 9% in 3 days. Uh, and again, that is a 90 DTE trade. I don't really have to do much of anything. If gold hangs in here, we're in good shape. If gold sells off, we're going to be in great shape. Okay, so that's a solid trade on gold. And then for bonds today, we had a bit of a lift as well with the rates dropping, bonds starting to percolate up. Really just in this sideways consolidation mode. Technically, we're still bearish overall on bonds, but I think there's some opportunity here to, play some triangles and a few other things. We're up 57% right now on a 112 bear trap that we put on. Uh, it's a pretty good trade so far, 57% in 20 days. Net gas, just crazy, up, down, up, down. Still in a downward overall trend, but really trying to improve. I'm not going to touch it. If we look at live cattle on the futures, big day today. So big live cattle move on the day. We don't really have anything cooking on this. I wanted to see if this break would hold. Obviously, it's just taking off to the upside, but now you're starting to look at getting a bit overbought on this particular move. It can keep running for a bit. I think any kind of a pullback in here is going to get an opportunity to trade. So we've seen a lot of things that we can get into. We'll quickly look. Apple down in the session, Microsoft up on the session, setting another new all-time high intraday on Microsoft. So we'll keep ticking that up. Every day seems to be, another new all-time high. Very overbought daily, very overbought weekly, overextended above the 3 ATRs, overdone on the squeeze. Microsoft is just going to just crazy right now, and it can't really play it unless you're in it. Amazon having a nice day. We're watching this ascending triangle here. If we break to the upside on this ascending triangle, I think you can see a nice Amazon breakout. You got MACD, RSI, squeeze, all pushing to the upside here. I think there's still a little bit more room to run. If Microsoft's any example, hitting the 3 ATR up about 160 would be a good opportunity here on Amazon. So I think you could get a nice 4-point move on that. Meta also moving higher on the session here today. Google, pretty solid update. I mean, some big gap move up days, overbought on the daily, getting there on the weekly. NVIDIA, it's also powering higher. It keeps just hitting new highs as well. Moved up today, finished off of its highs. Squeeze is really long here. The overbought is now, up to what is it, 86. I mean, this is an extreme overbought condition. We've done it previously here to get to about 90, and then it kept going beyond that. So it doesn't mean that it can't continue from here, because we got overbought here in March, and we stayed overbought all the way to August. So we really stayed overbought for 4 months as this thing just plotted its way higher. Then it got range bound for quite a while and then broke out again. So is this the new level up here, this new 627 level? Maybe this is the new range that we stay in. We'll see what happens, but just no touching this one right now. And then Tesla, after earnings yesterday, just dropping like a rock, falling pretty hard, down 12% today. to some breaking support, breaking pretty much everything way below the 3 ATR. Might be overextended. You now have the 3-day rule in effect on Tesla, which means I can't trade something like this for at least 3 days to see if it continues to sell off or stabilizes a bit. But maybe, just maybe, there's some opportunity here. But I think you got to give it a couple days. I mean, if you jumped in with naked puts or put credit spreads today, I just think it's a little premature, but it is definitely in an oversold status on the daily. Squeeze is way long, big gap below the 3 ATR. I wouldn't blame you for putting something on in Tesla here, but something to watch. All right, let's just jump back into our account briefly today, see how we did overall. Again, I was not active, didn't do anything here today. Delta ended up at 302.07. We're just delta neutral and just staying there. Theta 801.19, little light on theta. Uh, we did move up fractionally today, so we're sitting right near the all-time highs in the account. BP usage did drop a bit on the session today, 194. So when you subtract the bill use out of it, we're sitting at about 37% BP usage. I like where we are. I want to see some sort of a pullback so that I can start to get in more, but I'm giving my span margin some room to expand if volatility picks up. We'll see. But overall, no trades, didn't close anything on the session. Let's just take a look at where all of our gains have been for the month of January, which again, $17,328 in gains, 4.38% since the beginning of the month on realized gains. 2260 was in long-term 112s. 1260 in CL strangles, 3360 in gold strangles, LE strangles, 600, and then all other futures. So overall, we've booked about $6,400 in strangles. I get it that you only want to trade your 112s, but you're missing out on a lot of opportunity here with some of these strangles. So we've got strangles running on a lot of these different futures. Taking a look at some of the standard 112s, ES up 520. We've got oil 112s. We've made over $4,000 in oil 112s, including some nice PDSs that we made profit on. Gold 112s up 1770. And then other 112s on other futures up 1680. So up over $8,000 in standard 112 trades today. So we got the 112 bear traps on a bunch of different futures paying off. And we've got the long-term on ES paying off on the bear traps. We have had some of the FB 112s have just expired the PDSs. That's all this is. It's not actually a loss in the trade. The naked puts profit have already been booked. So that's already done. And then here on 0DTE, we're still up 1345 on the month. So decent there. And some spec trades were up 1900. Overall, we've had 29 winners. We've had one loser out there. In fact, I don't think these numbers are right. 0. Yeah. Great. Oh, okay. I get it. So I should be going to end. A little error in the formula here. Let's make sure we got these all right. All right. So yeah, 29 wins, only one loss now on the month. So we're up at a 97% win rate on our trades. So things look pretty good for what we're doing. And we're right on our strategies. We're right on the right number of units for everything that we're doing. And we're on track for our monthly P&L. In fact, based upon our budget and what we're looking for, 15,995, we have already exceeded that at 17. So we're in good shape. So what I wanted to share with you is for a few minutes, I don't want to get too deep into things, but I want to talk about mindset a bit. And I did an ebook I shared with some of the members what we're doing, but I've got a little ebook out there on trading mindset, and it's really key to take a look at your mindset here. I'm not going to cover the basics here, but I think one of the things that I want you to think about out there. And it's funny, I see comments on my YouTube channel like, why are you doing this? Or you shouldn't be doing this, or you're doing this wrong, or whatever. And that's all right. You know, it's YouTube, it's free speech. Make any comments that you want as long as they're not nasty out there. Feel free to get engaged. What we're doing is helping as many people as we can. But what I want you to think about is what is your mindset? So some keys to a successful growth here is make sure you're mastering your mindset. You want to start exploring some of the different fundamental principles and strategies that's going to help you become more confident here. And that's what we talk about in this manual. And we're going to cover more about the trading mindset. And I'll cover a little bit each day on this. But before we get into really talking about mindset, I really want you to think about growth. And what is your knowledge growth? So whether you're in our Discord or Bobby Gaines' Discord or with Ed and Brian or in Lance's Discord, it doesn't really matter, or anybody else's Discords out there. And I know there's so many different ways, and there's a lot of people trading similar things. There's people trading different things. It doesn't matter. Okay? The key here is growth is only going to happen when you step outside of your comfort zone. And growth doesn't happen just by reading or learning. You've got to be an active participant. If you're watching my videos and I'm giving you trades that we're doing and I'm talking about the different trades that we're taking off each day, I'm not giving you the entries, I'm giving you the exits. And why am I doing that? Is because I don't want you following along and just using it as an alert service. We talk about that in our Discord as well. While we do give our trades out live, every single trade from myself, from Igor, from Eddie, from Candy, from Stacy, from Joseph, and everybody else, Andy, everybody who's posting their trades. And we have hundreds of members posting trades live. There's no shortage of stuff to learn from. What I don't want you to do is just start following anyone's alerts or doing that. I want you to start to inquire what is the strategy, and I want you to go learn the strategy first and find out if it's right for you. Okay. So just by copying somebody's trades, that doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't make you a smarter, better trader. It's going to set you up to get creamed or killed. Okay. How do you know that they know what they're doing? Number one. And two, does it match your size account? Does it match your risk tolerance? Growth doesn't happen, okay, automatically by copying what people do. It happens by learning, watching, practicing, understanding. You got to be an active participant. And I think that's the key that I'm trying to point out here is I want you to be an active participant in your own learning. And learning is not something you did, it's something you do. And if you feel that you've learned it all and you know it all, okay, then you're really in the wrong spot. Okay, we call that expert delusion syndrome when I do sales training. And I find it all the time in the sales industry. And I call it expert delusion syndrome. And essentially what that is because you've been doing it for a while, you think you're an expert. And you're not open to new techniques and new ways of doing things. Nobody knows it all. And when you understand that you don't know it all and you become open to learning, okay, that's where anywhere you're going to be more successful. So a couple keys to growth here, and I wanted to touch base on these today. Number one, be willing to unlearn what you know and do. Okay? So be willing to unlearn something just because you've been doing it for a long time. Okay. Are you hitting the type of goals you want? And maybe if you are, great, stay where you are. Okay. But don't stagnate. Okay. You got to try some different things, and it's okay to try some things and lose. Okay. That's how we learn. But you got to be first willing to unlearn what you know and what you do. You can't be truly open until you open up your mind to unlearning some of the things or some of the mindsets that you've got and some of the things that are in your thought process. Number two here, the most important one maybe is be willing to go outside of your comfort zone. So I want you to go get uncomfortable. And trading futures, I've never traded futures. You know what? Me either. At some point, somebody didn't know how to trade futures. At some point, somebody didn't know how to trade options. At one point, somebody didn't know how to trade stocks. Somebody didn't know how to buy mutual funds. Somebody doesn't know how to buy T-bills. Somebody doesn't know how to invest in fixed income funds. At some point, you don't know what you don't know. And the only way to do that, to me, is that you got to get outside your comfort zone and you really got to place some trades. Trade small, learn what you're doing, trade the smallest size that you can. Paper trading has never worked for me because you don't trade the same when you have nothing at risk. And most of the paper trading versions of like Toss or anybody else, they're really terrible. Okay. It really doesn't match what live trading is when you put your own real money on it. Well, I can, go to Options Omega and I'm going to back test this and it's got a 95% win rate and we're going to make $1 million on it. That's all great. Put your money there. Okay. You're going to trade it differently. Okay. Back tests are great to give you a sense of, is this a potential good trade that has positive expectancy? Yes, great. Let's put it into play. Let's see how it does. I like to experiment. The 2112 trade that I got on is a version of someone else's 1121 trade that Andy did in our account, and then he moved the PDS higher. Not something that I normally do. Okay. I got to be willing to unlearn what I'm doing. I got to be willing to get out of my comfort zone. And I just went and popped the trade on. Okay. So I did check it out and I did put some due diligence into it, but also you got to learn by doing. And number three here, be totally open to trying new ideas. I think the one thing in our Discord is there's almost too many new ideas. There's so much information on a daily basis. I know members are conflicted and confused at times because there's just so much stuff there. And it's not just coming from Igor or myself or our contributors or our moderators, Gabe, Gary, any of those folks. Okay. It's not just coming from one or two people. It's coming from dozens of people. Okay. We want to build a true mastermind community that learns together, grows together, gets rich together. Okay. Makes mistakes together. Okay. But you got to be opening to trying new ideas. If you come in, anyone that says, well, this is how I do it. Okay. Especially when I'm training salespeople. Okay. And I hire a new rep for somebody and they go to work and they're working with a veteran rep doing a little shadow on a day. And the rep tells them, well, this is how I do it. Well, maybe that's not how the company wants you to do it. Anyone that says, this is how I trade it, this is how I do it, okay, they're typically not open. Okay. You got to be open to seeing what other people are doing and taking in what they do and not trying to correct them on it. Just understand what it is. And then the fourth thing here is just focus on learning and improving above all. I want you to focus on learning something new every day. If you learn it in my Discord, if you learn it in my YouTube, if you learn it in Joseph Puckett's YouTube, if you learn it in Bobby uh, Trader Nerds Discord, or Lance's Data Traders, uh, or Brian and Ed, I don't care who you listen to. It really doesn't matter. They all have good ideas. Everybody has something that's good. But the problem is everybody doesn't have something that fits your style. If they're boring, and it's too slow for you, then that's not the trade style for you. Okay. Just because it works for them doesn't mean it works for you. If somebody's too aggressive with a couple trades, that may not be for you. Okay? You got to find the right thing for you, but you got to focus on learning and improving. Did you learn something new every day? How do you learn? Best thing to do for me is you post your trades in a member trade section, like in our Discord or something like that. You can hold yourself accountable and other people are going to hold you accountable too. It doesn't mean anything to me for anyone to post their wins if they didn't post their why in the trade beforehand. Okay. And I know I'm kind of showing you my wins. I showed you some losses yesterday. Here, I'm just sharing my actual trades with you. Okay. And I'm sharing a lot of my methodology with you. Okay. If you're just going to post me your P&Ls on a daily basis and not tell me what you did or why you did it, it doesn't do me any good. Nobody learns from that. Okay. Okay. Hey, I made $4,000 today. Great. How did you make it? Okay. I'm showing you every day exactly how I made that money. I show you exactly which trades, when I entered them, how I entered them, and for the most part, why I entered those trades. You may be missing some of that. And you don't get it live, you do, but I do cover it with you because I want to make sure that you're learning something new and you're open to improving and trying different things, but don't just take my stuff. You got to get into a group where you're learning every single day. My last thing here, Frank Zappa quote, a mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it's not open. I want you to take that and I want you to think about that tonight and be open to trying some new ideas. Invest in yourself, get somewhere into a mastermind type of group or a good Discord group or something somewhere. Don't just try to take all this free stuff you can find from me or other people on YouTube here. There's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of really bad stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense to half the people here. But there's lots of good stuff out there. The key is be open to learning and improving, but get yourself somewhere that you can hold yourself accountable for that. And someone's going to hold you accountable for understanding the trade, not copying someone's alerts. That's never going to help you get to be a better trader. Understanding why they did it and then trying to do it on your own without copying. Now you've got something going. You start to make it yours. All right. Anyway, that's my mindset piece for the day. We'll cover this a little bit more each day going forward for a couple days as we go through this ebook. But make sure you're open and you're willing to get outside your comfort zone. And on that note, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe out there, everybody. Good trading. We'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.